What's up YouTube, Gail will check this gadget, and I'm coming to you to do a pros and cons video of the LG V60 Dual screen. Now the reason I want to do this video is because I want to show some love to the LG V60 with the other two foldables coming out. We just had the Surface Duo release and we have the Galaxy Fold 2 coming out. I think the LG V60 should get some love, and I think a lot of people should consider this phone if you're looking to get into the dual 2-screen market. And let me tell you why. First of all, the Surface Duo, well, the other two are very expensive. We have the Galaxy Fold 2 coming in at $2,000 plus tax. And then we have the Microsoft Surface Duo coming in at $1,400 plus tax. And I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money. Now, I plan to get both of them, but that's because I'm a tech person. But that's those for the regular person, or even for a person that loves tech, that's very steep to climb, especially for the Surface Duo, in which that's a first-gen model. And if you look at some of the reviews, some of them are not so hot. So I'm going to talk more about that when I get the actual Surface Duo. I tried it at the store. I can't wait, but I'll talk more about that once I actually get that phone. And then we got the Galaxy Fold, which looking like an amazing device, but $2,000 is a lot to spend. I pre-ordered it, but every day I think about what have I done. But I think I just have to have it in my hand first to give it a full try personally, and then make the decision if I'm gonna return it or keep it. I would love to keep it, but $2,000 is steep, man. And that brings me to my first pro about the LG V60 Dual, is the price. You can get this phone right now for $700 at T-Mobile. They actually just dropped the price. Originally it was like $809.99. And now it is $699.99. $700, you can have the dual screen version of this phone. I think that's amazing. For one, with the prices of the way phones are these days, that's an amazing price. And then you're getting a whole second screen for $700. That is a great price. And the fact that it is half the price of the Duo and more than half the price of the Z Fold, like, if you're into the dual screen market, you want to try it, you're sure it's not for you, this is a great phone to try out. It's not too steep where you know, you might feel like, you know, you have buyer's remorse. So compared to if you would spend $2,000 or you spend $1,400 plus tax, you know, you would definitely have buyer's remorse if you feel like you're not utilizing those two screens or the full screen to its full capabilities. So $700, excellent price, and I would highly recommend this at that price. So let's get to another pro. It's what I would consider multitasking without compromise. Now, of course, we know Android phones have always had the multitasking feature, but you always sacrifice a little bit of the screen real estate. So let me explain what I mean by that. So this is typically what the Microsoft, I'm sorry, did I say Microsoft? I mean Android. I'm sorry. This is typically what your Android phone we've been used to when it comes to multitasking, is you get the split screen, right? You can have an app here at the top, you can have one at the bottom. Now, you can have, say, for example, you're doing YouTube, because most people, I think, if you're doing dual screen, you're probably gonna be watching videos, right? So you can have your video field here, you can have a whole nother app down there, but you're sacrificing on some screen. Like, yeah, I can see the comments, but look how small this is, right? Taking up small amount of space, very small, versus I can have it on my other screen here, right? So I come over here, open it up, have all of that, and then multitask over here. And be able to see all my comments. So it just depends on how you want to use your device, how you want to use your apps. So typically you would have a split screen, but now you can have the ability to have full access to both screens without the split view compromising what you would normally see. So I think that is a great feature of it. And then of course, like I said, you can do, if you want to, you can do the typical split screen, just like normal if you want it. you can do that. So I think that is a great feature. The other huge pro of the LG V60 is the flexibility of what you can do. So you can have the two screens. If you want to just use it in one screen, you can fold it back if you don't feel like taking out the case. If you do feel like taking it out the case and you just want to, I don't know, enjoy it without the dual screen case, that extra weight, and you just want to just use it as a regular phone, boom, there you go. So that's the great flexibility of it, is being able to take it in and out of the case. I think that is a fantastic pro for this device, is that if you don't always need your dual screen, you just want to just go with one screen, you can do that. And that's a feature I really enjoy about this phone. Next would be the fact that it still does have expandable storage. A lot of phones do not have that expandable storage via the micro SD. On the Galaxy Fold 2, there is no expandable storage. On the Surface Duo, there is no expandable storage. So even if you take just the regular phones, for example, Samsung Note series, the new Note series, Note 20, if you want the cheaper model, or I don't want to call it cheap per se, but if you want the base model, base doesn't sound good either. If you want the other, if you just want the regular one, because I feel like the Note series is so, it just feels weird calling, one cheap or, base model, because to me, it's I don't look at them as cheap and base. It just feels kind of weird saying it. So if you want the regular Note 20, you don't get the micro SD. You don't get that expandable storage. You give that up, unfortunately. You have to spend the extra money to go to the bigger model, the more expensive model, to have just the capability of expandable storage. For some people, that might not be a big deal. A lot of people are perfectly fine with putting all their pictures in the cloud. Me, personally, I've never been a fan of having my pictures in the cloud. I just never been a fan. I'd rather put them on a micro SD, and when I go from phone to phone, I can put that micro SD in a new phone and be good to go. So that might be a deal breaker for some, but this has micro SD, which is a great pro, in addition to 128 gigabytes of onboard storage already. It also still has the headphone jack, which a lot of phones have gotten rid of the headphone jack. They say, hey, everyone's moving to wireless earbuds and wireless headsets, which, yeah, that's true. I get that. However, there are some people out there like me. If you're using, I don't use this as my main phone, but let's say you are using this as your main phone. It's still some people out there like me. My car does not have Bluetooth, so I have to use the aux cord. And being able to not have to worry about having an extra dongle with this phone and just being able to use the headphone jack, that is great. So I like that they still have that one there. And also, if I wanted to record video on here, I can attach my external Rode mic, which would be nice. So a lot of things come with being able to have the headphone jack still on here. It's just nice to not have to worry about an adapter to carry. One of the other pro features I think is the camera. Having the manual camera mode. Not all phones allow you to have that, but you can do manual camera and, change settings and all that stuff if you're comfortable with that. And then I already mentioned how $700. And then my last pro is just being able to basically combine or condense using two devices to one. And what I mean by that is, before I got this phone, typically I would have my iPhone and either another Android phone, or I would have a phone and my iPad mini, or another tablet and my phone. And usually what I was doing was, a lot of times I would use the other device to watch YouTube, or I would use my phone to watch YouTube and do something on the other device. Whereas this one allows me to be able to watch YouTube and scroll on social media. And that's primarily what I use this device for, is being able to watch videos and using the other screen for social media, or sometimes I have social media up on both screens. I might be on Instagram on one, Twitter on the other, or I might be on Twitter and Reddit. Just depends. So I might be using a calculator and watching a video. And that's the nice thing about this. It allows me to just use both screens and I have to have two different devices. So if I'm going to bed at night, I don't have to, or laying down or whatever, I don't have to worry about, you know, both devices not sliding or whatever all over the place. It's right here. Everything is right here and it works. It works great. So those are the pros, and I think the pros outweigh the cons. But let me give you, I have three cons. Three cons and maybe a possible for some of you guys. That might be a con for you, but not for me. So the first one is the weight and the bulk of the device. It is, with the case, it is, you know, it's a thick device. When you know, it's a thick device and it has some weight. Like I said, I touched the Microsoft Dual in the store. Very thin device, lighter than this one. I have not had the chance to have the Galaxy Fold 2, but I did see the Galaxy Fold 1, the original one, in the store, and lighter than this. It is heavy, and for some people that might be a deal breaker. This definitely has some weight to it. It doesn't feel that bad when I have it open. I don't know if I'm used to it. Even when I'm using dual screen, I'm not laying on a flat surface somewhere. I usually hold it like this. Mainly because this is the main phone, you want to hold it here. It doesn't feel too bad. I don't know if I'm used to it or whatever. It doesn't feel horrible. But close, you can definitely feel that weight. So that could be some bothersome for some. But that can be one of those cases where you take the phone out and you just use the dual screen when you're at home or something like that. I don't know. Maybe hopefully you got a bag. I don't know. Maybe you can get around that. But I can understand how that could be a deal breaker for some, coming from someone that recently bought the iPhone SE because I missed having a small device. I went from the Max, iPhone Max, XS Max, or 10X Max, whatever, to went back to the 8 Plus, and then I went to the SE because I went to the 11 in between there. Then I went back to the SE because I just miss having a small main device. So I can understand if this is looking to be your main device, how that can be a deal breaker for some, unfortunately. Another thing is, with this phone, if you want to use the blue filter light, which is, little, on iPhones called it the night shift, Samsung calls it blue filter light. On here, it's called the comfort view. It's that little light at nighttime you turn off so it can, like, warm up the screen or whatever for your eyes or whatever. LG calls it the comfort view. And if you look here, if you try to turn it on, it says I have to turn off the dual screen to use this feature, which is unfortunate. And the reason it's a big deal for me is because usually when I'm winding down going to bed, I usually have my phone. I'm looking at videos or I'm scrolling on social media and whatnot. And I want that blue light filter on so I can, I can wind down, relax a bit so that screen's not so harsh on my eyes. And that feature doesn't have it if I want to use both screens. So I either typically have to go to one screen, turn it all the way down, or just use another device, unfortunately, or whatever. So that's something I hope they can do in their main, when they come out with a new version. I wanted to show this screen. When you first get the phone, there's a wallpaper, and I can't seem to find it, that wallpaper now, where I want to show. You can see the difference in color on, let me see if this one will show it. I don't know if you can see it as much, but on that original one, with the original wallpaper they have, you can see the color difference. Now, using it regularly, I can't see a color difference. But for some reason on that screen, the color looks a little different. Like, I don't know if you can tell, like, the purples are slightly different. Let me see if I have these in sync. Yeah, I have the brightness in sync. But using it as on the apps and stuff, I can't tell the difference. So I don't know if that's the reason they can't do comfort view. I'm not really sure. Also, just in case you're wondering, if you don't want that punch hole on the second screen to show up, that is an option you can turn off. Because, you know, it has the punch. So basically, it has the punch screen here. I'll turn it off. So over here you can see the punch screen because it's mirroring this one. But you can turn that off if you want to. So that's one thing. The other thing, now this is not a deal breaker for me. I don't mind this. This might be a deal breaker for some, is that that's all you get as far as external. It's just that. But it shows you the time, the date, some notifications, and your battery percentage. I think that's enough. And then the last thing is, if you want to charge the phone in this case, you have to have this little adapter here. So it charges magnetically through this little magnetic connector. So you will connect your USB-C cable here, and then you just connect it there, and that's how it charges. And I love these chargers. I wish all phones had chargers like this. I miss this from my MacBook. So the only thing about that is, if you don't want to lose this. So if you're going to use this as your main device, or you're going to be carrying this around with you, a secondary device, but you're going to carry around in the car, I will go ahead and buy another one of these. I'm not sure of the price, but I feel like your T-Mobile employee told me they purchased it for $14.99 off the LG website. So if you're not going to be, if you want to back up, I would say go ahead and get one. If you're going to be taking it home, I'm sorry, not taking it home, taking it in the car and whatnot, you think you might need to charge on the go, go ahead and buy an extra one, because I would hate for you to lose this. And then if you do that, you can still use it, because the case operates off the battery's phone power. But you just have to take the phone in and out of the case. It's not horrible to take it in and out the case, but who wants to do that? So that's the only thing is, you know, you have this extra adapter you have to worry about, which is why I appreciate that they still have the headphone jack, because that's just one less adapter I have to worry about. It would just suck to have to worry about that adapter and this little magnetic adapter here. So those are my pros and my cons for the LG V60. I think it's a great device, especially now that the price is $700. I think it's a great device. I will recommend this highly. I recommend for a couple reasons. I would say if you're a person that this is not going to be your main phone and you want a secondary phone, it's great for that. Say you're a person that is an iPhone carrier like me as your main phone, but you love Android and you just like to have an Android phone, or you thinking about getting to Android, I think this is a good way to get into it, because you get the dual screen experience. If you don't want the dual screen, you can take off and have the one screen experience. It's very affordable. Very good price point for all the stuff that you're getting. I haven't did video tests with this, but I've looked at some other camera tests, and the audio from them recording video on this sounds great. It's just a lot of good things about this phone for the $700 that I think makes it a good device, especially when you compare it to the Surface Duo and the Galaxy Fold 2, which those are for some different markets there. Just the most affordable option, great device. And even if you wasn't into dual screens, because you can buy this phone by itself, you can buy it for like $650, but for the extra $50, why not get the extra screen? Like, wow, that's what makes it wanting to get this phone. It is very, you know, it's a tall device, it's a large device, but it's all worth it. It's definitely worth it. I think it's an enjoyable device, and if you feel one of those categories I just mentioned, I think you enjoy it. Or if you just want, you know, an Android phone, period. There's so many options for Android phones. A lot of different options. But I think this is a good phone. I think it's a good phone. And you can't beat it for $700. If you can get past the how bulky and the weight of it, I think you are making a awesome purchase with this phone, and you won't have buyer's remorse. So if you haven't, subscribe, especially if you're interested in the other foldable phones. I will be getting a Surface Dual and talking about that, and especially since so many reviewers have talked about the bugs on that one, I'm definitely going to be uploading videos on that, just update, just to see, you know, just talk about my experiences with that. And then we got the Galaxy Fold 2 coming out, which a lot of the, of course, big YouTubers already have it, so there's plenty of videos out there for it. But, you know, there's nothing like looking at the small YouTubers and, you know, getting some more real world type, regular reviewer type, regular people type experience with the phone. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will try to answer them, and look forward to next week. Probably by the end of next week, I should have both of those devices and, you know, more videos for you. So till next time, guys, later.